Most coaches are stuck doing 10,000 euros per month because they're doing too much, not too little. This podcast episode alone could replace an agency in your business.
Today, we're going to walk through the 3 steps we use in our Top 1% Mastermind to grow your coaching business from inconsistent 5 to 10K month to consistent 50K month.
Yeah, and most importantly, without burning out or bleeding cash or destroying the business on the way towards those 50,000. Like, it's not make it or break it. It's make it. And then on the timeline, well, it depends on how far you are right now to how far it's going to take until you're at that point to make 50,000 euros per month. I love this topic because it allows us to break down something that a lot of people are going for, but are unable because of something that they don't see. So we're targeting kind of a blind spot in the coaching industry. Like, how do we progress past those 20,000 euros per month or 30K or 40K?
Because we've just came out of a weekend having a 3-day weekend with our clients, hanging out with about 60 of our clients. And it was a mix of clients we've been working with for 3 years, for a longer time, and those clients who literally just started up in our course. And I think it's really funny to see how different the approach is for someone who's coming in new, where it's really obvious to see what is the conditioning you come with, what you believe you need to do to grow to 50K month, compared to when we hear the shares from, we've been doing all of the celebrations from clients we've been working with
for a longer time.
And that's come a little bit further and see where they're at today. And remembering they were just like those who were just starting up when they started. I'm really curious what's standing out from you regarding that, the difference between the person who's just starting the journey and the person who's been on the journey for a little bit longer period of time.
So what's most obvious to me, the skin they have in the game, the experience that you can hear that they're in the trenches working. And there is a big shift from I really want this to I'm going to make this happen to I've made this happen. There are 3 different persons showing up depending on like, I want this. That could be a very kind of like, oh, I'm inspired. Yeah, but can I get something new that just fuels me, that gets me going, compared to someone who's in the trenches? I don't need that. I just need, what's my next step? What's my clear focus? What do I need to do right now? And then you can listen to the people who've done it and they're like, yeah, I took that thing and then we kind of did our thing with it and we came up with this thing and it works so great. Yeah, I love that. And then we can give that away to the rest of the community. And I believe that is, what the journey looks like. We're coming in inspired, fueled, we're on fire. We feel that I'm going to create something, I'm going to do something. But while getting dirty and getting in the trenches and creating it, building the business, there is a huge shift where we turn away from, I need to be inspired. I need my next step. I need to know that what I'm working on is going to take me to the outcome that I desire. And they need some confidence. I need the wheel. I'm not going to invent the wheel again. And I don't want to focus on the stuff that makes me feel good. I want to get this done.
Yeah, we normally ask our clients, for those people who are new in this community, what can you share? And there's a few things that is just again and again is shared. And one of them is trust the process. And I believe that's the hardest part for someone who's starting up. They've been in coaching maybe for a while. They do have proof of concept. They do have some clients, but they don't have a clear strategy or clear way of doing it, which means it's a lot of test. And it's a lot of hoping that something will work. And it's kind of being in that survival mode of always needing to hustle and struggle with everything.
Fight.
It's a lot of fight, where it's so nice to see those people who's been there for a while. It's just so calm. It's just so, we can say people just starting up because of all the hustle, a lot of emotions. Controlling everything, where those people who've been there for a while, less emotions, more data-driven or data-led, and more strategic-driven. And we've been speaking a lot about ownership, different kinds of ownership, moving from the emotional to the data-led owner was one of them. And that is really one of the things we can see, and which I believe is very important for this episode today, to understand that having a model to follow, we give to our clients. In the first step, you need to trust without knowing it for real. You need to use the evidence you see in other people. This is why we get people together and we celebrate. So you can see, those who are new can see how this works in 6 months for me, you see where everyone else is at. And in 1 year and in 2 years, where will you be at in your business? So in the beginning, it's a lot of trusting and finding the evidence in others. And once you've been...
Sorry for interrupting you. It's just that's what trust is. If you have evidence, then it's not a challenge. You're always going to trust everything that you can prove. All of us trust that if we are on a top floor in a building and we jump down, we're going to die because we can't fly. We trust that that's going to happen. So we get afraid of heights. We get a physical reaction. Trust is something that we responsibly invest in order to be able to discover and explore more. And if we don't understand that trust it's a key factor, and we do not trust based on evidence, then it's not a process of building trust. Building trust is having faith.
Yeah.
And daring to trust that based on others' capability, based on what I've seen, based on whatever, I dare to trust. It's the same thing with you and I. We need to trust that it's going to turn out all right, being partners in business, being partners in life. But we don't have any evidence for that. We can't foresee the future. I can't trust that our business will reach the outcomes that we desire. But what I can do is that I can trust in the process. I can trust that if we put our heads together and if we go all in, if we step into the game, then we're going to figure it out and we're going to make it happen. So the combination of, trust is very, very important. And what should we trust in? The foundational trust comes down to your capability of figuring as you walk forward.
Yeah.
Because that's all that it is.
Yeah. So the problem we see with those people who are just starting up, they come in and they're posting everywhere. It's very inconsistent and it's very much based on how I feel like for the day. And it's shifting focus all the time.
It's going fast.
It's going really fast. It's
up and
really
down, left and right.
Boom, boom, everywhere, right? It's shifting focus and doing one thing for a week and you see, it didn't give me results. Okay, it's a problem. Maybe it's my offer that's the problem. Maybe it's this that's the problem. Changing the offer, changing the avatar. Yeah. It's going very fast.
Yeah, and it's an expression of their internal world at that moment because that's what it feels like on the inside.
Yeah.
At times, it's going to feel stormy on the inside. And we just need to recognize that we shouldn't create storms on the outside because there are storms on the inside. And the only way to calm the process is looking at the data that we produce. It's really the only thing that we can do. Building a business or making decisions in life, your emotions isn't a guiding factor. Your emotions isn't helping you towards building the business that you want to build. And it's just important that we need to remember that. We aren't basing our decisions based on how do I feel about it? And those decisions could be everything from should I go with this niche or should I design my avatar this way towards should I do this tactic that is within a certain campaign or should I run a campaign at all? All of those things, those should be considered, not felt. And then super cool if you get inspired, use it as fuel, but don't base your decisions whether I'm going to move forward because I'm feeling good or feeling bad. And I'm surprised to how much we see that with people who have so much experience.
Yeah.
And that's interesting to me, that people doing 20,000 euros a month still have a lot of emotional turmoil. And we need to figure out how to, get back to ourselves and use our knowledge and our understanding of running business.
They're busy, but not profitable.
Yeah.
But they're really busy. And a lot of these people believe that they need to be everywhere. They need to do everything. I need more followers. I need more content. I need more of everything in order for me to grow my business. They're often stuck in, which means every single thing that they're being exposed to, they jump on. So everything just becomes, this is my option. This is my option. There's a possibility. Here's a possibility. And jump forth and back and do literally everything anyone tells them.
Yeah.
What's the real cost of staying in this chaos, would you say?
Well, the most obvious one is that you're not progressing. You're keeping yourself in some kind of limbo where you hustle. You do a lot of things, but you never really see the outcome that you desire.
Well, I see definitely that they are losing trust in themselves.
That's the consequence because they start believing that it's them. I'm not good enough. I can't do this because it's something wrong with me.
Yeah, and they also give up on a great niche. They give up on a great offer because they're so fast forward to the next thing.
Yeah.
So I think the problem in this chaos is they never get to really figure out what's the real problem and where should I improve because they're trying to improve 30 different places at the same time.
Yeah. What I can see as well that many people are doing because of that is that as they are feeling that they're getting further and further away and losing confidence in themselves, they're starting to open up more opportunities, which dilutes the value of what they have in their marketing. They're starting to talk to more people, a wider audience. They're trying to include more people. They're trying to kind of look for, sure, I said I wanted to coach this person, but literally where I am right now, I could take anyone. I don't care. I can have this person up here and it's fine. And what ultimately happens is that they're starting to hold back their punches. They dilute the crisp out of what it is that they're doing, both in themselves, so they lose confidence, but also in their marketing and their communication, which means that they're not really bringing anyone closer.
No, definitely. What needs to happen instead is that they don't need to have a better offer, program, or anything else. What we want to focus on is simplify. And in this episode, we want to look at what is the 3 steps in their marketing they need to have in place. Because in order for you to grow to 50K a month, it just needs to be very clear. What do we do? So if we start with the first step, the first step needs to be always the organic content foundations.
I was also going to say foundation because it's important. We need that foundation because as we are growing our business, we need to understand and get to know our avatar. Like we've said this 1,000 times, we love ads. Ads is great, but if you start ads too soon, what's going to happen is that you're going to pay a fortune in order to figure out what is the correct way of articulating the problems I solve and speaking to the avatar that I'm targeting. We're going to spend a fortune figuring that out, and that sucks.
We have an example of a client who came in because she started her business running ads from the beginning, which was nice. She was getting people in, but she had absolutely no profit. She was losing money rather than gaining money. So even though she had revenue, she lost everything. So she didn't have any profit.
It cost her more to acquire the client than the client paid, which means that it was a negative. So for every client that she made, she was actually having less and less money in the bank account. And we can see it in a lot of big businesses starting out where you have that kind of business model where you know you're going to lose money the first couple of years. That doesn't mean that it's healthy. And we need to understand that. And I remember that the client that you spoke of, when we broke this down and when we looked at it, she wasn't really aware that she was losing money every time she got a client. Because the money that the client paid was money into the account and it made it possible to make more ads. So the KPIs and the data is so important to be aware of.
The first step was the organic content, the foundation. We need to do content. Doing content, it's not about doing 3 posts a day on Instagram. Do 3 to 5 posts a week. That's it. That's all you actually need.
We're really looking for quality over quantity. If it is that you create one really, really, really good post a week, is better than 8 or 9 or 10 posts a week. It's going to take a long time to grow to 50,000 euros a month if all you do is produce 1 piece of content a week. So we suggest you do a little bit more so that there is something for the followers to actually get used to being exposed to your stuff. The example stands. It is more effective to have one really good quality post where we can hear your voice, where we can hear you behind the thing that's been created, than just like 8 ChatGPT generated content pieces.
And I think this is so important that we talk about this because we follow a very clear framework that we give to our clients. 4 different pieces of content. First of them is connection content. This is where you have your point of view. You say what you're against, what you're for, be relatable, show your world, share your day, share your life. Show who you are so it's possible to connect to you, especially people who used to work on LinkedIn or people who come in as consultants. I see us struggling quite a lot with this thing.
People who have that background, even further, people who have a background in marketing have a really hard time figuring out the connection. The connection pieces. People want to consume. It's not more about the details of how you do X, Y, or Z, or what your program is like and what your work is like and blah, blah, blah. It's a connection piece for them to be able to connect to you as a person so that you can build a like factor. So that you can show that you're worth investing in for more than just what's in your head. You need to show up and show who you are.
Then we have the value one, the value content. And I think value content is misunderstood or I would not say it's misunderstood. I would say value content requirements are different today than they were last year and before that. It's not about free quick chips. It's about really giving value.
Yeah.
Today, we need to give them real value, like give away something they can actually use, teach them stuff. So they feel like you're actually the one they can see can explain the things in a way they can understand it. So it really becomes valuable.
And also be able to articulate the problem in a way that allows them to see something new for themselves. So that they understand that there is some depth to what you're saying. It's not just skipping the surface.
No.
With whatever it is that you're teaching.
Yes.
Then we have the third thing is proof content.
Yeah.
Proof content is to display proof.
Yeah.
And it can be proof either through a testimonial or a case study.
Or
proof that is of something you've done yourself. So that where you've been on the journey, where you've produced a result for yourself. So proof content could be you celebrating literally a milestone that you've achieved that aligns with what it is that you help your clients do.
Yeah.
So,
show stats, data that prove whatever you do. So you can really prove, especially in the world, how the world is today, where there's so much AI generated. I just saw a Twitter post today that's so important and so right about that in the world where everyone becomes their own agency, having some AI tools around them, everything becomes mediocre because you can't outscale AI in volume or being the marketer. Yeah, you'll never be a better marketer than AI because it just follows some clear scripts. But what you can do is that you can be right. You can prove that what actually is, because everything else is just a cover up.
It's a hypothetical.
Yeah.
It's not really hard data.
Yeah.
There is no substance behind it. There is something like you could Google.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you could Google and find, is there anyone who built a bridge overnight? And you're going to find, this person did it. And then you're going to be like, oh, cool, they wrote newspapers about him. Okay, really cool. So I'm going to start writing content about that you can build a bridge overnight. It's not about you. There is lack of congruency. There is lack of involvement on your part in this. We need to be a part of what it is that we create so that we help people understand that there's real substance.
Yeah.
And we do this with connection, we do this with value, and we do this with proof.
Yeah.
And then we have the fourth one.
Invites.
Yes.
This is where we have the clear invites to come closer. It can be that you invite them to a workshop, into a call. It can be invite them into a class, masterclass, whatever you invite to, but to get closer, to get in connection and move a step further into your funnel. Now, I just want to share a quick framework for the content, because I think it's so easy for most people to get stuck in the content. I see a lot of people are talking a lot into where people should go to, really want to go to the fix.
Yeah.
But in the framework of organic marketing, you really want to speak to the pain first, because people understand how it is and what problem, frustration they feel exactly right now, rather than what's in the future. So we want to speak into the pain they have right now, and we want to go into the deeper cause of why this is. So there's a why you are in this place around, it doesn't matter the niche, and then what to do instead. Now we have a shift, what to do instead, give them some next things, and then we can have a call to action to moving them forward, whatever that call to action would put them to. So I think the most important thing about content creation, what I see is we don't do content just to tick off boxes that I did content. We do content to move people, to get people to engage, to get them to move, and to get people understand who you are and see what you stand for, to get them to relate to you, but also understand why you're unique, which means you need to be specific. And this is why it's so important we train this in organic and not in paid ads. Because if you're fluffy in organic marketing, it's not moving anywhere. But if you're fluffing in paid ads, you're losing money, not getting anywhere.
And the worst thing that can happen is when you work with, because what happens when you start running ads is that you work with masses.
Yeah.
So with organic, it's controllable. It's you can analyze the data. You can see the reactions of the number of people that come across your post. Some posts go viral, sure, and then you lose kind of grip of it because it blows up. But when you start running ads, the worst thing that can happen is that people are actually interested, but they aren't aware of what it is that exactly that is you do. So you get unqualified people that aren't a fit for your stuff through your funnel.
Yeah.
And we know tons of people who have done that. Alex Hormozi did that. He's very confident, and the way that he speaks, he's always been that way. And it's going to spend time. So you're going to bleed resources in terms of bank account. That's going to bleed. And then you're going to bleed resources on the back end trying to process the people that comes through. And then you're going to end up with just the CPL, the cost per person is going to go way up because we realized that, yeah, the CPL was in the beginning very cheap. It didn't pay much for the interactions I got. But when I figured out who's actually a fit, I realized that my CPL is 20 times higher than I believed it was.
Yeah.
And it cost me a lot of resources in order to figure that out. So I'm bleeding everywhere. So fluffy is dangerous. And the last part of it when it comes to creating content and having a great foundation to your organic is to what does my voice sound like when I'm not holding back my punches and when I really speak to the people I want to help.
Yeah.
Again, we're not looking for quantity. We're not looking for viral posts. We're not looking for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of likes. Sure, that boosts our ego. That might feel nice. But what we're looking for is quality. And we're looking for a dedicated following that really invested in what it is that you speak of.
Definitely. I love that. Let's go to number 2.
Yes, long form.
Yeah.
So here's for you who makes 20,000 euros a month. Don't bother about long form. You need to master the short form content and you need to master connection. You need to master dialogues, communication, and the things that leads to the sale. But when you want to get up to 50K, grow from 30 to 50, long form is going to be something very important for you because what we are getting with long form content, short form content is top of funnel. That's the first thing that people see.
Grab their attention, grab their interest.
To realize there is something there.
Yeah.
And long form is created middle of funnel to make the step easier for them to enter your world, which
align
is
with
becoming a client.
Yeah.
So what long form content does is 2 things primarily that I really love and that I love to point at. The first thing is time on brand.
Yeah.
They spend time on your brand, figuring you out, learning who you are. The second thing that it does is that it takes care of the heavy lifting in sales.
Yeah.
Because it moves them closer to becoming ready to buy your stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're spending time on brand, one thing, but also getting to know what you're in and about when it comes to helping your clients, which means that if they spend X amount of minutes on your brand, getting to know you, getting to know your personality, listening to the depth and what's beneath the surface of what it is that you do, what's going to happen is that people are going to buy much faster, which means that you're taking away a heavy load on the sales department of your business. And you're taking care of that with your marketing.
Yeah. So long form content is about building authority. It's about building trust. It's about going that way deeper. Today, when we have so much AI out there, the trust is coming from, first of all, I feel you're a real person. I see you're a real person. And I see that you're a real person who can actually help me. You can actually give me real value. That is what is different. And what's really important as well is that it's about personal brand building.
Yeah.
It's about being you, and I connect to you. Everything about faceless marketing, it's been so big for the past couple of years because it's so much hype about, it's fun. You can have AI building up all your stuff for you and you don't do it.
Yeah, and you can build a business without showing your face. Yeah, sure. But,
But you are going to fail in the next year because everyone can build a business without having AI build up that. But there's one thing they can never do. They can never be you. No one else can ever be you. No one else can ever be perceived like you.
Yeah.
So if you are building this up and start doing long form, this is where people connect with you and they trust you. And it's also where they be willing to pay more because they have a deeper trust in what you do. It has a higher value to them.
100%. And I also want to say that there are stuff that AI is going to be able to help you with in your business that is fantastic.
Yeah.
Which means that AI is great and that it's growing, that it's going to help your business a lot, but it's never going to replace you. It's never going to replace you, especially not in marketing.
No, use it on the back to help you with whatever you need to do, but not let it be your marketing.
Yeah, everything that needs processing, AI can take over.
And the thing is, for some people, I think it sounds like it's a lot of things to do, but it's really not. Like you have an iPhone, have a great microphone, have a great light. You said that's what you need. There's not a lot of things. You can start really easily.
Yeah, if you're going to make one investment in your tech stuff, then invest in a microphone that makes it sound good.
Yeah.
And make sure that you film in good lighting.
Yeah.
Guess where the best lighting is? Outside.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to figure out the good light, start your camera and then spin around 360 degrees, just holding the camera in front of your face, and then watch the video after and see, okay, from what angle does the light hit me the best? And then you have it. A good microphone, your phone, that's all you need in order to be able to create great video content.
Yeah. Let's go to number 3.
Yeah. We see so many people understanding it and still go against it.
Yeah.
People who run businesses are creative. They have a need of variety or whatever it is. But the foundational truth comes down to you need to have one funnel.
Yeah.
One way of one person that you help. One way of selling to these people, which means one funnel, one program that you sell. You need to commit to do this for a year. You need to make sure that you are emphasizing and taking care of one thing at a time and making that really good, because you can't scale until you have something working. So if you're working on 5 different funnels, well, good luck. Have a nice life. You're going to struggle in business and you're not going to make money. So if you're listening to this and if you're doing 1,000 different things, then stop what you're doing and get back to doing one thing.
Yeah. Let's take some options you can use that will work, all of them, if you work them really well. So we can definitely have a follower funnel where you make sure you grow your following, your social media following, make sure you have more friends on Facebook, more followers, more connections, and nurture them and close them in DMs. DM, nurture, and get them on calls.
Yeah.
That's a great funnel, especially if you are doing less than 20K. Best funnel to really just get that one to work. You can also have a DM funnel where you do more outreach. I would say most people don't really like doing that because it takes a little bit more volume. So you probably...
I think I want to add to this. When we're building our first real funnel, one of the key components is going to be simplicity.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be able to keep developing that funnel, because I could talk to you a little bit about our funnel that is organic. And then to boost the organic, we have ads.
Yeah.
And then we have connection piece, which literally just takes care of building relationships, digging into what's going on, where are you at, basically doing the first qualification process. From that point, we are going to give them resources. At that point, we're going to have an event somewhere that we can invite them to, where they can get free training, where we can help them to get actual results. Once they've gotten real results, then we're going to be able to invite them to have a conversation about, do you want to join our world? Do you want to do this together? Because it's awesome. Now, all of these different steps, we didn't start there. It had to grow into become what it is today, because when it comes to the free stuff that we can send people, that could be long form content. That could be something that we've created to solve a specific problem. So a funnel doesn't mean that it needs to be short, but when you start creating it, you need simplicity.
Yeah.
Because the more steps in the funnel, the more complex it's going to become.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different variables that is going to determine whether it's a working funnel or not. If it is a 35-step funnel, you could literally have 5 funnels instead and try to make it work. So look for simplicity. Take out the stuff, kill your darlings. Yeah, but I really love if people could see my website because I spent so many hours building it. Yeah, okay, cool. But what if you wanted results instead?
Yeah.
Let's take out the website for now and see how can we make it easier. How can we control the narrative and how can we run this funnel to see what's the actual conversion between each and every one of these steps?
Yeah. Then we have lead magnet funnels. As you said, we have a lead magnet funnel. What I think is a little bit harder today is a cold funnel. I would say not as a beginner. It's too short. It's too hard to build trust with that. Is it okay? I'll jump over that really quick so we get to... You have low ticket to and then do upsell. That mean that you sell something very, very cheap, next to nothing as a tripwire. You do upsell to the next things. Again, really good for a techie person, not really good for someone who's not a tech person.
Yeah.
So again, also looking at what's the best funnel for me also is very personal. What do you like do? If you like to really stand in front of the camera, talk to people, well, I would say doing a workshop funnel, doing event funnels is probably exactly your thing, because you're good at closing when you get people in front of you and get to speak and connect. If you don't like to be in camera, DMs. I can take it everywhere. I can do it on the bus, literally everywhere. Short. You know what to do. DMs are really good. You don't need to speak to people. You can literally just write. So there's always a funnel that you can use, but you need to decide on one funnel.
One way.
One way that this is how I do it. And once you're decided on which one you're going to do, you test it first. Like we said, organically, you test it out. And once it starts converting, once it works, and you can see, yes, I know if I put this effort in from this side, this will work. I can see my conversion is stable. Then we start adding ads to it. We start amplifying with ads. We add 5,
Turning
10.
up the volume.
We turn up the volume of something that works, not on something that we're testing out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, very, very important doing this is track your data.
Yeah. Understand what happens in every step of the way.
Yeah. Optimize.
Yeah.
Optimize where you can see it's leaking. We optimize and then we repeat.
We can do all sorts of things as we're optimizing. We can split test. We can try 2 different variations of the same thing to see which one seems to convert better.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to do this with simplicity, but just to see if I make a small change here, if I change this to something else, and then I try that parallel to that old thing that I used to do, what's the difference in outcome? What's the difference in results?
Yeah.
And then as you move forward, you learn.
Yeah.
And then you add small steps to build out a very sophisticated money-making machine.
Yes.
Because that's what it is. That is what a funnel is supposed to do.
Yeah. So if you think this has been a great episode, make sure you subscribe and follow us for the next one. And down below, you find some links for free trainings, but we also put in a link, a training to the 3 most important steps for you who want to grow to at least 50K a month. Selling more premium, selling easier, selling on one-to-many. How it's going to be easier. These are the strategies we've been using, strategies we've been giving away. So there's a free training down below for you to watch.
And they've made tens and tens and tens of million euros for our clients.
Yes.
So it's going to be worth your time.
Yeah.
I love it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next Wednesday.
See ya.